Hello, my good friends. Today is February the 13th of 2019, and Jody and I have been talking. We've been doing a little discovery work on Google, and it was a result of a friend who does not want his name mentioned, but who happens to live in Morocco. And we've been looking at the dragon. Everybody knows that. And I want to say one word about this to start with. This, this is spectacular stuff, and it infringes sometimes on people's reality. I mean, well, it does. There's no getting around that. But some people feel insulted, assaulted, attacked. It's not my intention for any of that stuff. It's my intention to show what I've discovered as reality. And Jody and I have been going over this, and I don't see any way that we can discount any of this. So I'm going to show it to you. Take it for what it's worth to you, because it does relate to our ancient past. Was written about. It could have an impact on, seriously, eternity. I mean, who knows? I'm not going to say that, but I can't say it not. So here's the deal. We studied it. I found this out months ago that it was a avian digestive system, which is, we're going to look at this now. And so what does that mean? Why is that different than a human digestive system? The birds are a different type of anatomy. Their bones are hollow to give them the ability to fly. They have one organ where we have two, like lungs and kidneys and all that business. And they have a combined digestive system, which is called a cloaca, which is this right here. See? Well, I mean, that's their rectum. They combine everything together for their digestive system. Comes out here now. Everybody knows that bird guano, which is the emanation of this digestive system, is extremely fertile, and people use it for fertilizer, and you'll see it's being used right here as people are growing stuff in it. Now, we're going to start from the head. We're going to go right down through the digestive system. Some of these things I'm not sure of 100%. I'd like to have doctors, anatomists, whoever look at it, but I'm going to tell you one thing right now. This is 100% without question avian anatomy. And not only that, at where the cloaca exits, the thing pooped when it was being killed. I'm going to show it to you. All right, here goes. Okay, here's how we're going to handle this. We're going to look at this first, which is the bird digestive system, which I am saying emulates the dragon, at least close. And here's the head, and it comes down the esophagus, and then you have the liver right here. You see this crop? Birds have crops. Sometimes they have stones in them. They crunch up all things, grains and so forth. Now it comes down. You have the gizzard. I'm just guessing at some of this because I'm not really a bird anatomist either, but I can see it's pretty damn close, and I know it has a cloaca, so I'm just working with the cloaca because I'm not really big into dragon anatomy. All right, now. So you got your proventriculus, whatever that is, and that's just before you hit the gizzard. All right, it loops around here. You see this pancreatic duct, pancreas. What I'm looking at here is the bile duct. This bile duct. Usually that's green. Now I haven't matched this up yet. Jody and I have been looking it over, and we decided this is the best way to present it is to show you this. I could be wrong, but bile ducts are usually green, and the kidneys are where you have a lot of salt. So, but they don't have really kidneys to speak of, I don't think. I really don't know. This bile duct, liver, whatever happens up there, I don't know. Anyway, it comes through the ileum and down into the cucum rectum. Oh God. Bursa of Fabrilia. I don't know. These names are a little over the top for me. But anyway, it's a cloaca. And we'll be looking at this. And I'm telling you, we're going to go right from the head. All right, stay with me. All right, this is a dragon in Morocco. And I have a number of videos on this. It goes back a number of years. And I've been through this many times. So let's just start with the stuff that dragons spit out that starts fires or whatever it is, some kind of venom. And what you're seeing right here is the venom that comes out, and it is virtually identical to toxic snake venom. And you could see down here there was an area where it obviously did some kind of a combustion event or attacked something, and you'll see that later. But let's talk about the dragon now. So let's start with the dragon's head, and I'm going to take you right through from his mouth and how he shoots this stuff out, and then we're going to go all the way down the throat. Well, I'm shooting down the throat here, all the way down his dragon scaled throat. This right here, this fluty stuff, this flashy looking thing that runs down his neck, is what you see in the parades in China and all those oriental places, and they fully understand the dragon. And the funny thing is that all cultures do understand dragons. They all speak about dragons. And Jody and I, who's on, she's with me on the on this, and we'll probably be talking later. We've been going through the dragons in the culture of the Anunnaki and the ancient ones that came here, and Tiamat and Marduk and all these crazy things that were written. So you have to do some looking up if you want to really get deep into it. And we will get deep into it at some point. But let's just start with the basics, because this is about enough deepness as you're probably going to be able to handle right now, if you haven't been exposed to this. Now, we're at his head, right there. You see the head, so hopefully you can see that. That's not too hard to see. Now here, we're going to go down the neck. So here's the neck. What did he shoot out? We know he shot out all that green, nasty stuff. And here's where it came from. You see, here's his neck. Or it's actually a female dragon, I believe, according to the stories of how the tails have flutes in them if they're female, and they don't have flutes in them. They have spikes if they're male, and this has a fluted tail. So this is the pathway going down the throat. And what is it? It's coming this way, and there's red injectors up here, and there's green injectors down here. And this is the zone of death. That was shot out. Now let's look at the injectors real quick. You see them? You see that edge, that green edge there? That's kind of unusual. You don't normally see that stuff. And these little squirters, you see right down here, one right after the other. They just look like little injectors. If you look at them closely, you can tell that's what they are. You see that? It's an injector of death. And on the other side, they're all like little bee stingers. The other side has the same thing, only they're green. They squirt down in there somehow. Now, it goes down, and eventually the squirters stop down here. Now, so what are we looking at now? Let's back out again. There's his head. All right. We're coming down the neck. You see all this stuff here? You see that border? You see it's black, and you see it's red, black and red. Hold on, let me come out of here so we can get back in the straight down mode. All right. You see where it's black and red, and it's like decaying away from this decomposing body. Now, let's follow the neck all the way down. You're going to find something happen here that was written about, and I'm just showing what we're seeing and then what was written. All the rest is up to you, your own mind, your own imagination. You may say, oh, I can't handle this. Yeah, it's all right. Now, as you come down, you can see these little plates. Now, what is that all about? Those are dragon scales, in my opinion, and they're plated like that to give it flexibility. It can't be a solid ridge. It has to be hinged, and that's the hinges. Now, so it comes down, as I said, this is all decomposition and stuff running down. And now, here we run into a slashed throat. Right here, straight across the whole thing got slashed. And what happened? He bled out here in the desert. And the red blood ran over here, the vein blood gushed out over here. And let's continue down, because that's not the only place this thing got cut. And it's continued down the throat. It just keeps going in that same throat. You know, this was all mangled up over here from the crash, you know, up over in this area, right over here. But as you come down the throat, down the throat, down the throat, and still, you know, I mean, they're all still the dragon scales. It never changes. This is not something that ever changes. I mean, it's his throat. So we come down. Now look at this, another dragon cut right there. Now that's not normal. They don't crack like that. That thing got smashed. And it cut right across this side too. So it's a double cut. And it ran out. You can see things ran out of that one. Another one here. Another one up here. Now over here. Now, what are we looking at again? Now, so he has to breathe and he has to eat. So there is the throat. I'm going to follow this down. Just watch. And you have Google Earth, so you can do this. You get up here. It's right in Morocco. You can't. It is Morocco. I mean, all right. You come down. 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 That's all straight away. Now, boom. What do you get to here? Over here, we got an issue with. It looks like it branches off to me. It's a little bit. I think it got cut right here too. So it's a little bit gooked up in here, so I really can't tell for sure. But it comes around, and I believe this pathway goes down into, remember we had the gizzard and the crop and the liver and all that stuff was part of that bird anatomy. Whoops, I got the wrong guy here. Now, I could bring that back. But anyway, I'm just going to go through it because we'll be here forever if I keep jumping back and forth. And I don't know what this is, if it's the same as bird anatomy or not, but it's damn close. It ends up with a cloaca, so I'm going to show you what happens. I believe this goes down somewhere into the gizzard or the crop. It breaks off and it goes over here. Now, this, I'm not sure what's going on there, but that looks pretty caustic to me, whatever it is. It looks caustic, or maybe it was a wing fell over the top, because the wing, I can show you wing stuff, and it looks similar to this. And there's a big one, that could be just a wing fell over, I don't know. Like I say, I don't have all the details, but I have some. So down we go, zoom, crop, gizzard, liver, whatever it is, into this big area here. Now let's look at that, because now we're in his body. I mean, this thing's big. This is his body right here. All right, so you don't get into his real body until you're over here, and the body runs all the way over to here. So that's not a little puppy here. This thing's gigantic. And let's continue. So we are once again at some kind of an organ where it's split from here down, and this one's split over to here. And I believe this, and I will show you why I believe this. You see these kind of structures here? That's an organ going into another organ. You see this branching in here? That thing is leaching something out of there, or taking oxygen in, or whatever it's doing in there. There's some kind of biology going on. Let me put it that way. Now, over here, obviously, you got some biology going on. Now, look at this. I think it was right over here, yes. There's some other thing going on here where there's corpuscular looking things all over. Now look at those. Now as you go closer and closer, you'll see that they have some kind of biology to them, and they actually have black dots here and there. I don't know, Jody and I were looking at them before. You got to find some that are prominent enough. Anyway, I don't want to get too deep into the details, but we've gotten some serious details. Now, it goes through here, through whatever this is, the crop, the gut, the stomach, the liver, the kidney. They got all that stuff. Now, it ends up coming down through this Zagora area here. We were looking at this because I have a friend that lives there, and he was contacting me today talking about this dragon area. And he doesn't want his name mentioned, but he showed me some rocks that he had, and they're called red dragon quartz. And they're right from here. This is where they come from, Morocco. And everything out here is dragons. And he says the old people know. There's certain tribes that know and they understand. And he says he's got it on good authority, and he says his words, not mine. And he said they were Muslims. That Jesus is coming back, and he's not all that far away. That's what he said. No, that's not my words, and I have no clue about anything of this. But I find it very interesting that so much of this, at so fast of a pace, is unveiling itself. Very, very strange. And anyway, just an observation. Now, so down it comes, zoom, this way. Out comes the crop, the gizzard, the whatever it is. You come down here. Now, at some point we found the kidney, and we always look for the green, this type of green. You see that type of green right there? See that right there? That's green. And this, I believe this is all part of the digestive system where it all flows down into the cloaca. Okay, this is, as I mentioned, we look for the green, this color green, and there's some here, and there's some over up in this area. Now, so what does that mean? Is there two? Because the green is your bile duct and your kidney areas. There are going to always be a lot of salts and a lot of chemistry there. You'll see it. It's there. Now, is this a creature that has more than one creature as itself? Because some of them say they got a bunch of heads and horns and snakes' heads and all kinds of things coming out of them. So I don't know. You look at what's the one that has the lion and so forth. It'll come to me, but they have an antelope and a lion and all that stuff built in a snake or something, all built into one thing. So who knows? So I'm seeing two different digestive systems. Let's start with this one, and I will show you that what happens is this creates bird guano. This exact same thing as bird guano. Now it mixes together from here. You see right over here. Oops. Where did I start? This one up here? No, this one over here, yeah. And there might be a third, there's some over here too. There might be a whole batch of creatures dead here. But look what happens. This runs off. You see that run off? That is bird guano. That is fertilizer. Runs off of here. There's water in there too, but it's fertilizer. You can see it. If you look at it, and the people grow stuff right in there because it's so fertile. That's why it's so fertile. It's the same, and I guarantee you, well, you can see it in your, I understand chemistry of these soils and rocks and all that stuff now. Very simple for me to see what I'm seeing and understand what I'm seeing. And what I'm seeing is the same sort of stuff as bird poop. All right, and they know it, and they're growing stuff in it, and it came out of this area here because this is, however this works, in this particular creature, there's some kind of chemistry here that works whatever this is collecting, and that is being collected by some other organ up in this area. All right, and then it all flows down and it collects into one central processing area down in here. Okay, you see all the people living down in here? You see all those dots? Those dots are from fertility. They're not just dots laying around on the desert floor. Now, and you can see the same chemistry over and over and over. Now then you get into, let's burn it up and crunch it all up and make it good enough to turn into poop. And that's what happens, and it seems to continue on this way. So that's one digestive system. All right, and now, then we have something that had laid over there, or there's a break between, but it's still the same dragon. There's no question about that I think you can possibly dispute. Now, at this point, we have the digestive system of this dragon, and he ended up pooping, or she ended up pooping upon death. And we'll go right through that. So here we go in that same colored stuff again. All right, now, look at this. This is where the stuff feeds in. This one here is being collected by some organ over here. You see this? It's a whole big collection system. You can't really miss it. And and like I say, you've got Google Earth. Go up in here and look at this. Very, very interesting stuff. And then you can match it to digestive systems and how they move through. That's what we did. So here we go. And this is very, very cool. This one here is just off the charts cool. Look at this. These things, they mix together. This is what is the digestive system, avian digestive system, different than a human. Totally different. We have one for, your rectum and your, and then you got your urinary system. Two totally separate things. This feeds into the same system, but it's unbelievable, isn't it? So anyway, it gets in here, and I believe here is where you have natron and sodium and all of the different caustic chemicals that do whatever they do to whatever coming in here, but they do it. And then it comes out of here, see, flowing down, you see the little squiggly stuff. Now, whatever this is, I'm not sure. It's some kind of tissue. Some kind of tissue. Now, this flows through here. It's like like some kind of bowl looking thing. Now, you see it flowing down here, watch. Same thing again. They're taking advantage of the productivity of these soils because they are this whitish looking soil. They'll move all this stuff. They're moving down into it down here. You can see it's just getting started down in here, I think. They'll get all this stuff fertile before long because it's highly productive. You need some water. All right? But all this stuff is it's bird poop. So where does it go from there? It continues down. Now this whole area down here becomes the cloaca area, and that is where all the contents of this style of digestive system ends up, and it poops out right through the rectum. All right? And that right there is the flap of the cloaca, and that is where this animal, these are the muscles, see these here? These are the muscles of the cloaca flap, okay? Over here, this whole area right through here, right, this whole area pooped out. And where did it go? It went right out here, and there it is right there. You see it? There it is. Now, if you come in and you look at it, I mean, it's poop. I mean, I don't really know much about dragon poop, but that's what happened. That flowed out of there. Now, what else do we see here? As you come down here, remember I told you could see a wing? I think the wings flopped over in this area down here. These are the leathery looking wings. There's better shots of it here somewhere. The whole area is covered by that wing looking stuff. And I think that's what it is, leathery. We looked at, I can't find it really quick, maybe it's right over here. But it was real leathery looking wing tissue. This type of stuff. It's very, very well patterned. So anyway, I've just taken you through the complete anatomy of a dragon. Now, if we continued on above, on his tail, or her tail, you would continue on down, 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 down. The tail flows down, 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 down. And it's still, at this point here, this is probably the best place to show where I can still claim a very obvious tail. And there is the scales, the same, it's exactly the same. I mean, you cannot miss this. This cannot be missed. It cannot be disputed. The guy's just talking out of his ass. Well, good for you. If you can dispute that, then I dispute your ability to dispute my abilities. Now, if you continue down here, it flutes out, and all of this stuff, because at the end of the tails, they say they flash and flute and all that business, and it does. Right? And so that would indicate in the ancient text that it would be a female. The males, they say, have a spiked tail, but this one here is all flashy and fluty. Look at the end here, see it? It's hard for you to probably see this, but I understand it. All right, that's the end of the dragon tail. You really can't miss it if you really know dragons the way I know dragons. Me and dragons, we go back a long ways. All right, And believe me, people will tell you that. Here he goes again, showing that dragon. All right, well, I just showed it again. So, I guess that's about it for today. You know, we're going to go deep into this because there's so much more to this. All right, thank you.